Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is Thursday night. Time for another episode of Thrifty Business. How the heck are you? I'm your one host, Jason Thrifts. And with me in the co-host chair tonight is, oh, Angela, I'll be there for you. It's a song that no one knows, not even Angela, but she knows it now because I always sing it for her.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
It's a weird Motley Crue song. What's happening? How is the weather in the Midwest?
Well, it was only like 32 today, but I walked outside and I didn't even flinch. So there was no wind, so we're good right now. It's dry, no snow. It's supposed to be in the 50s the next couple days, so
that's not bad.
Can't complain.
That's not bad. Today it was like 60 and sunny here. Just gorgeous.
Yeah, so not bad.
All right, let's not fart around. Let's get right to our first segment, shall we? Time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug, and I try and match it. And our guest today is Kayte Vaughn. Hello, Kayte. How are you?
Hi, Kayte.
Good.
All right, so Kayte, we'll get to in a bit, is about you have your online business and something in your life, in this case, military relocation, takes you away from your selling. And so you're just like, you know what? It's going to be out. So liquidate, move on. But hey, now we're back. So Kayte went from Texas all the way around the world to Korea. So even though I just used this rum not too long ago, I had to use it again. Travelers, because you're out there traveling.
Perfect.
And Korean devil mask. There we go.
Cool.
That's cool.
So I want to thank my wife for that, because I wasn't thinking that way. I was thinking, because Kayte sold something that's amazing. We're going to talk about later. I was trying to find something to match up to that. She's like, well, how about one of your many Asian mugs? I go, oh, yeah, duh.
Perfect.
Cheers. So what are you drinking, Angela?
I am drinking hazelnut coffee out of a cat mug.
Now, is it just straight coffee or is it special?
Yeah. It's
what you got, Kayte?
I have Coca-Cola and a vintage.
Jadeite Fire King.
Handle. Very fancy cup there. I like that. All right, sit back, and we're going to do our segments, and we'll see you in a little bit, Kayte.
All right.
Okay.
All right, let's get back to it. I can't wait to hear Kayte's story, because both Angela and I have a lot of questions. So let's
so many questions.
Segments. So many questions.
So many questions.
Hour 7. All right, time for our scores of the week. These are the things that Angela and I have sold this week. These are bolos, things you should be on the lookout for.
Isn't that cool? Bright yellow lamp. Big.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks kind of plain to me.
It's plain, but it was really tall. It was like 18 inches plus the finial, and it was this bright canary yellow. You could see it across the room. And it's a little in the mid-century vibe to it. And somebody told me it was called a sewer pipe or sewer tile, because that's what it looks like, that tubular shape. We paid about $5 for it, I think. And I actually took an offer of $65.
Cool.
Yep. Shipped it with pool noodles.
And good job on taking a picture of it working. Yay.
Okay, these are some scroungy old jeans. We were at an auction, and it was a hoarder house, and so they were selling like pickers' rights to the closet, the attic, and that kind of stuff. And I know better now than to even attempt that stuff, because I get overwhelmed with too much stuff. But we went the next day for furniture pickup, and they said, just go through whatever's left. And inside a cabinet inside the attic and a box marked books and clothes, I found 2 pairs of vintage jeans. The Gap ones were in worse condition for this, and I sold them for $70, and I took a best offer on these for $30, because they're really cool and ripped up and distressed and grungy and stuff, but they weren't the coolest. That they're more cool if they have patches and stuff.
Yeah, we were getting ready for bed at like 11:30 last night, and out the front door I could see my neighbor's truck taillights on, which was weird at 11:30. I stuck my head out, and there was a guy in the truck, which from the back in the dark could have been my neighbor. So I'm like, everything okay? And I heard his voice. He goes, yeah, I can't find my wallet. So I came out, and we looked, and we didn't find it last night. But he had been painting all day, and his jeans looked just like this. And I said to him, dude, you should sell those jeans right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're perfectly worn in, where you couldn't do it that well if you tried, because when you try, it looks like you tried.
Oh yeah, you can't do that. We tried it in the 80s. It didn't work. That splatter look. Yeah. So that was $100 free dollars out of that attic.
Oh yeah.
These were vintage hat molds, hat blocks. This would have been for a wide brimmed ladies hat. I went to an auction on a Saturday and I paid $125. Well, let's say $135 all told I ended up getting, I sold them in 6 different lots. This was the highest selling one at $165. And I did sell these at auction. One did not sell, and I went ahead and flipped it over to Etsy the next week, and it sold within days.
Nice.
So I made really decent money on those. This is my husband's. This is an African warthog tusk coat rack. It was like yay big. It was, I think it measured 20. I think the box was 40 inches when I got it shipped out.
Marriage was roughly 37 inches long.
Yeah. So by the time you could see, I sent you another picture. I like slid a pool noodle under the tusks, and then I split another pool noodle in half and kind of hugged it around the whole thing. And then I just built a styrofoam box and slid it right into another box.
Can I offer 2 tips to Russ?
Yeah.
So this looks fine if those of you watching on a computer. If you were shopping on your phone, this long skinny picture in the middle, yeah. So what I would do on long skinny things is corner to corner. Where am I going? There, that way. So I would have taken that corner to corner, filled that sucker up, or came at it from one end, shown the tusk. So the front tusk would be in focus. The back tusk would be out of focus, but it would fill the picture a lot better.
Those tusks were frightening. I mean, to be that close to them, and then I would just like imagine them on this angry animal charging. And the guy that we got this from actually hunted all of those animals.
And since there's still some room in the title, I would have put the length in the title. I mean, it sold for good money, so no complaint. But you still got room, 37 inches. So I would have put like over 3 feet long in the title. You know, it's all about marketing sometimes.
Oh yeah.
You know, but yeah, I love the use of the pool noodle. All right, so this brand wasn't anything exciting. It's called Dottie Did It. The back was kind of cool, and I picked it up cheap. And it sold within like a week. So wasn't the biggest seller I had. And I had it on sale because I was running a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. But picked it up for like $4, sold for $28. Don't hesitate to list other holiday stuff. We listed this 4th of July Rain Spooner shirt just last week and already sold for $30. So you never know. In the middle of December, someone's like, you know what I need for next July 4th? I need this shirt right now. Yeah. So
I need that for my dad for, because he doesn't have that one. That kind of thing.
Exactly. And I've taught you before, you can drink for free when you're at bars with tiki mugs. So we were at the Miracle Christmas pop-up bar, which really isn't a tiki bar, but it sells these mugs. The mug was $17. The cocktail was $12. So together that's $29. And I sold the empty mug for $33. So
okay, that's from this year's event, right?
Yeah, it's the same.
That's not the one I gave you. Okay.
Yeah. They use the same mug. No. I bought some extras because we went this year. But so quick math means I drank that cocktail for free.
Delicious.
For free. I meant to change a screenshot. This sold for $50. NRBQ is a band that most of you probably have never heard of. However, this had been hanging around Buffalo Exchange so long. It was there on half price sale day. That means it was in the store for about 2 months, give or take. And I got it for $4 and I sold it for $50. And it was an old shirt, made in the USA tag. So that kind of also tells you the age. Come on, tag. There we go. United Stars of America.
Okay.
So $50, old concert shirt at a Buffalo Exchange. All right. So we had our normal scores of the week. Now it's time for CD and cassette scores of the week. Look, if you have not started flipping CDs and cassettes yet, you are just leaving crazy money behind. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to educate you. But every week I'm going to show you the good ones. We always start with flipping cassettes. Haven't listed many cassettes lately, although I did pick up I sourced some really good ones when I was outsourcing this past weekend in California. But I did sell this Megadeth this week that I paid 50 cents for $11. So not too bad of a profit. I don't normally show my records because that isn't really the segment, but this one is one of those ones where I just gambled. I couldn't find anyone ever selling one in the recent past. Checking Terapeak, checking eBay, checking even WorthPoint, the science of mysticism. But for I think it was $10. I'm like, I'm gonna give it a whirl. Plus, it was on red vinyl. It's old, and it was listed for maybe a month, and it sold for $56. So, sometimes that Spidey sense, that sixth sense, does pay off.
I think that album was just haunted. That's why you got that Spidey sense.
That was a weird one. I thought, boy, no, I'll just play it. I usually find one of these CDs every year. In the past, it has sold for $80. This one sold in the $50 range. Still a good flip because most people don't even know about it. This sold while we were at Disneyland. So it just, I love when stuff like that happens. My wife and I were at Disneyland, and the soundtracks of the Country Bears sold for $25. Picked it up at Savers for $1.99. Also picked this up at Savers for $1.99. A tribute to Black Sabbath. Number 2. Number 1's kind of common. Number 2 isn't. Sold for $30.
So that wasn't Christmas, or was that Christmas?
No, it was not Christmas.
Okay.
But this one, never heard
of it. Nativity. All right.
Christmas by Prague World Orchestra. Picked it up for $1.95 over the weekend in California. It was listed less than a day, sold for $50.
Dang. There was anything left in California?
No, I pretty much cleaned out LA and all the Bay Area. Now, nice. If you haven't started flipping yet, head over to jasonThrifts.com, and that's where you can catch all my courses. And the price of just one course, the price of the course, when you find one good thing, like a Proggy Christmas, it pays for the course right there. Boom. The rest is just gravy. So
yep,
check it out. All right. Sadly, not everything is winners, though.
The longest sound effect ever.
Time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours. I do want to point out, Tina did sell 4 cassettes in the past 5 days. So Tina,
nice, Tina.
Started cassettes. No $1 million ones yet, but all of them add up. All right, let's hear about your duds.
All right, I tried to do one of those, 99-cent clearance, get your stuff out the door. This one sold, never paid. Turns out the girl was having an issue with the payment. She said, can you relist it for that price and I'll just buy it outright? And I said, sure. I did that. And as soon as I did it, I was like, son of a gun. Guess what I did? I had it weighed wrong. I had a whole stack of books. Oh. They were all like the same size, but this one tipped over and went into the 3-pound range, and I had to pay for it. So I paid more than 99 cents. So I didn't make any money, but it's gone. She's happy. I'm happy. Okay. I have zero in this hat. I bought about 250 hats for about either $5 or $10 last year. I've sold a ton of them. This one you can see, and I already claimed that, the plastic in the bill was broken. I claimed that. And, but when I went to take it out of the box, it had gotten more brittle in the past year. And I don't know if it was cold weather in the back or what. So I went ahead and shipped it and automatically refunded her everything and just said, you know what, it's on its way to you. I've refunded everything because I'm not happy with the condition of it. She gave me glowing feedback. She's happy. I didn't really lose anything because we've made a lot of money on those hats, but
the glowing feedback is nice.
Yeah.
Right. This is one of those that when I scanned it in the store, it seemed like it was going to be a way better winner. Orgy of the Dead by Ed Wood. I've had it listed on Amazon and eBay for probably a year, back and forth. And so when someone finally offered me $12, I was like, yeah, that's fine. I think I paid $5. So I made a couple dollars, but man, the day I looked it up in the store, it seemed like such a much better winner than that.
That's sad.
And then,
how is this a dud?
Well, because I've had it for sale for a year and a half.
Oh.
Melissa and Doug's a good brand of plush. This is an English bulldog, 19 inches tall. It's a decent size and just nothing. So if you are a English bulldog lover out there and you would love this dog, I'll happily take $20 plus the shipping. So hit me up.
And don't forget, if you need those Corel Holidays Christmas mugs, I still have about 487 of them.
400?
No, not that many. I probably have 35 of them.
3,500 of them.
Feels like it.
All right, now it's time for where in the world did our stuff go? If you are not selling internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion
with a B
potential, with a B, potential customers. You know how much grief I get, Angela? Well, there's like a billion people in the world don't have internet. I go, do you skip the word
there's
potential?
not.
People just skip the word potential all the time. I understand that not everyone in the world has internet. That's why I say potential, because they maybe know someone who knows someone who knows someone who has the internet. So potentially everyone could buy from you. So if you're not selling internationally, you're not going to get sales like this.
Like that one. I sold a 3-pack of vintage Mod Girl patterns to Munich, Germany.
How much you sell them for?
I think they sold for about $12. They were just shirts, nothing special.
All right, so mine was the Money Team, which is Floyd Mayweather's brand, and this shirt is 7XL. So
he's a boxer, right?
Yes, he is a boxer. I wanted to use this one because I did have a lot of international sales over the last 2 weeks. But I wanted to show, don't be afraid. I mean, definitely look for big shirts. And listening internationally, who would ever think in Stavanger, Norway, someone's going to need a 7XL Floyd Mayweather shirt? But there was, and I was happy to send it to him. Now, here's the funny thing. I wanted to pronounce Stavanger correctly, so I go to Google, like we all do, and I type in Stavanger pronunciation. Here are the 3 videos that come up, and the reason I'm sharing this that made me laugh, I listened to all 3. They all say it differently.
Who's in charge of this?
I don't know, but I'm just like, why in the world? I just figured they'd all be the same, but nope, they all say it differently. So Stavanger. I mean, it's so weird.
I have more trouble with the ones in Canada. But Munich, everybody knows Munich.
All right, now it is time for, where is it? There we go. Our thrifty tip of the week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you're out in the world sourcing.
Okay, here you go. If you're selling on Poshmark or Mercari, your money actually sits in credits form on the platform before you have it sent to your bank. So this time of year, if I'm fine, I shop new. I'll search new with tags, like for my stepdaughter's boyfriend, because I don't really know what he's into that much. So I'm like, okay, I'll just find a size, buy some new with tags, and it's kind of like money in the bank. It's like extra money I didn't know that was there. It's not coming directly out of the Christmas budget because it's not there yet. So that's just. I'm just going to keep rambling because you're in the notes.
I just right now. This made me think of a tip for the next show.
Because I mean, it to me, it's like, you know what, and I'm giving right back because it's like I'm giving somebody else that little happy that I got when I sold my stuff, and and honestly, I don't like to buy. I don't like to go to the stores. I don't like to shop in retail stores.
Screw your stores. All right, so this tip is kind of a twofold. Thrifting with a partner who pays better attention than you do comes in handy. So that's my lovely wife.
We're lucky we both have that.
Yes.
Russ pays way more attention than I do.
But you should pay attention to the signs hanging around a store. So Stacy and I were in Amoeba Records in Hollywood for Record Store Day last Friday. So we bought a bunch of records, and then we hit the Christmas section, got a bunch of great Christmas CDs and other stuff, and we left. And we were like 3 towns away when it dawned on me that from the glass showcase where they keep the good stuff, I had them take something out for me and hold it behind the counter, which I forgot to buy. And 3
hours?
Yeah. 3 towns later, I'm just like,
oh, okay.
And I'm just like, oh, well, like I'd given up. And Stacey goes, there's signs all over the store that say they'll ship anything anywhere. And I know they ship because they sell online, but I never thought of calling them back and going, hey, the thing I left behind the counter, can you ship it to me? Well, here it is.
Yay, Stacey.
So I called from like a Taco Bell where we were standing, and I'm glad I did because okay, I'm going to quiz you now. Oops, who is Jizza?
That is Lady Gaga's uncles.
Good fake guess. I liked it. Jizza is one of the Wu-Tang.
I had the confidence behind it. Oh, I wouldn't have known that.
Now this is his album, Liquid Swords, and what's cool is because I'd never seen this before. Inside this version of Liquid Swords is a full chess set. There's a chessboard in here with all the pieces.
Get out.
And this sells for $120. I don't know if it's going to register. I paid $25 for it. So I'm glad my wife noticed that. So the tip, going back to the tip, is pay attention to the signs around the store, because you never know when the thing like "we'll ship anywhere" will come in handy, because I would have left
Trust me,
my $100 profit behind.
Yeah. Most stores know if you want to keep the business, you got to start shipping stuff.
Yep. All right. Now it is time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me. Little tips and tricks, what to do and what not to do. And that's going to be mine today. Whoops. When it comes to shipping.
All right. It is crunch time for Christmas gifts. People are wanting stuff sent across the country. They need it now. They need it for not everybody's having Christmas on the 25th. So this time of year, you need to make sure you automatically have it on all your listings. If it's on platforms like Etsy, that maybe it's you don't have it there, make it available to all your customers. Put it in your listing and know where your locations are, know their hours, and find out if they can offer you pickup. If you can't make it out because inclement weather happens, somebody loses the car keys, you can't leave the house, that kind of stuff. Just be prepared for everything so that you can maximize everything.
And I like to point out that Angelique said, I'm so glad I'm not the only one who's forgotten the stuff behind the counter. She said it's even worse when you actually paid for it and then you leave.
Oh, I've driven away from drive-thrus without my food.
All right,
I know that's hard to believe, right?
Thanks, everybody. All right, so here's my what not to do, and this is coming directly from me. I made the mistake, so wah, wah, wah. All right, so most of you know that Stacy and I produced our first tiki mug for our home bar, the Den of Sin. Here is the entire army, and yay, we're sold out. They all sold, and so we are now shipping them. That's what happens after you sell 175 mugs. So I have this storage space up in where our shipping table is, and I'm looking at all these boxes full of peanuts. I'm like, good, I'm good. Here's the problem, though, Angela.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't all peanuts. So I didn't double check them. I just saw the boxes. Okay, so I ordered fresh peanuts from Bubble Fats. It'll be here in a couple of days. But I'm like, all right, I am good for 3 days. And as I got to these two boxes, oh, no, they're not peanuts. They're envelopes. Whoops. So when you think you have shipping supplies because they look like they are, make sure what's in the box is the actual supplies you think are in the box. Because all suddenly shipping mugs came to a screeching halt and Stacy had to go drive and pick up some peanuts. So.
Yeah, I did that 2 weeks ago with the padded flat rate envelopes. I could have sworn that's what that box was, and it was something else. It was padded mailers from eBay. And I'm like, oh, I need to get on the horn. But it came close. I got down to 6. I didn't know what I was going to do.
Elizabeth's like, oh, Wu-Tang and Grave Diggers. And Tina said, can't wait to get mine. Yeah, Tina, yours is shipping out tomorrow morning. It hasn't shipped out already. So
I saw Elizabeth's name come up and I was like, does that say Liza Koshy? Totally different YouTube world.
Totally.
For sure.
Oh, there we go. Where's my sound effect? There it is. Time for our online selling tip of the week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you're selling. And it doesn't matter the platform.
I'm always curious to see what I shared. And this was only yesterday that I turned this in. Like, ooh, I can't wait to see. Okay, I always share my mistakes because if there's a way to do something wrong, I've done it. And it's okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect all the time. And I'm sharing this because I screw something up. When you are in your seller hub, you can customize the columns that you see on that screen. And I think I had bids and watchers in my columns. I don't need that because I very, very rarely run an auction. Very rarely. What I need there is my shipping cost because it'll tell you if it's free shipping so that when I went to bulk and sent everything to 99-cent auction, it would have been right there. And, as I scrolled through before I launched it to take that shipping, put the shipping back on it before I tried to sell it for 99 cents. And I did.
Yeah, not just say that. I think I got to adjust mine. Not just say that. I think I was thinking about the other day. I'm like, oh, I got to adjust mine. I don't need to see that, but I do need to see this. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got to figure out if I can get them in a different order. Maybe if I unclick all of them and put them in, maybe they'll show up because there's something over on the right that I can't see that I want to see, but I can see shipping now. And that's what matters.
And Christine went to the darkest place ever in regards to our tiki mugs. Phew, I thought you were going to say the table collapsed.
Oh, jeez, Christine.
No. I bought the meatiest heavy-duty shipping table you've ever seen in your life. So yeah, that ain't going nowhere. All right, so this is one of the records from Record Store Day. And I listed it for actually higher. Oh, whoops, my graphic's a little too wide. Hold, please. I listed it for higher than others and got the higher price. And here's something, and we've talked about it before, but when you do your research on pricing, to make sure you're in the same general vicinity, because if this is selling for 120 bucks, putting it up for 500 is not going to do me really any good.
No.
But what I think most people forget, Angela, is make sure you're comparing apples to apples. If this Madonna is selling for normally 30 bucks, are the ones who are selling for 30, are they offering worldwide shipping? Are they offering returns 60 days like I do? Are they offering medium mail shipping if it's going domestically so it can be cheaper? So as you can see, this went to Switzerland, and I'm not going to take the time to look at every single person that listed or sold it, but I know just from being around for 20 years that a lot of people don't offer international shipping. So I'm going to go for a little bit higher price because I offer it to the world, and boom, Madonna's off to Switzerland now.
Yep.
So make sure that you look at the whole thing, not just the item title and the price, because there's more to it. Because if someone sells it for a price and they say no returns, shipping's $50 when it should be $3, yeah, you're going to be better than them. And if you're watching this show and if you're in the thrifting board and you're in the Secret Beach, you're probably one of the better sellers, because if you're listening to the things we teach you and implementing them, you're going to be a much better seller than the average Joe.
Oh, yeah. I just listed a dress this evening, and it's an Eddie Bauer dress. And I went to look, and I was like, why is somebody charging $15 to ship a dress that's going to go first class?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's a misinformed. So, I was like, well, that's going to make mine look all the better.
Yep. That drives me bonkers when I see that. So, All right. So Mom and I are back this Sunday, and we're talking about Christmas and the holidays in general. So it could be Hanukkah, could be Kwanzaa. We're talking about listing stuff, because although it is December 5th, you should still be listing your holiday stuff and it's selling. And so I saved a lot of my Christmas CD sales and some other stuff from I took them out of the scores today to share with you guys on Sunday. So Mom is sourcing while she's out glamping, and she found Christmas stuff that she needs to get listed. So we're going to talk holiday items, get it listed. Don't be afraid to still ask for maximum dollars. So tune in Sunday, 8 o'clock East Coast, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. And we'll see if my mom is still alive, because her granddaughter's spending the week. We'll see if she's still upright.
And and just a reminder to everybody too: don't compare yourself to everybody else in the thrifty board. We were going to celebrate with you if you're having like a $10,000 month or a $2,000 month or a record week for you. Of course we are, but don't compare yourself to it if you're not there. You know what I sold on Black Friday? One Christmas ornament for $8.
Woo!
Yeah, but then it picked up over the weekend. And I did. I had a lot of stuff. Ooh, Peggy shopping retail.
Yeah. So real quick,
they have a quarter rack.
She's with my aunt and their girlfriend, and they're all like, they're all pushing 80 or 80. And so last night I get a call FaceTime at like maybe 8:30, 8:45 my time, and it's my mom and the girls, and I'm like, wow, you guys are still up. And they were throwing dice, and they couldn't think of how the rule went on something. So I'm like, damn, 76 throwing dice. It's almost midnight. Drinking rum. I'm like,
I want to be Peggy when I grow up.
All right. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in. By the way, next Thursday, no Thrifty business, as Stacy and I will be in New York City. So we're going to do a little sourcing in the big bad city. And we'll definitely come back with a great show from that, because every time we go to New York, people say, you can't source in big cities like New York. And I say, horse pucky.
Not true.
No, I bring suitcases back of good stuff. So
what is this, 1978? Horse pucky. All right. Prospector. All right.
There we go. Let's get our guest in here. Where's my doorbell? There it is. Hey, everybody. It's Kayte. Woo!
Hi, Kayte.
Now, usually I have my friend Nadine do the graphics, and I was so behind coming back from California. I'm like, all right, I'm going to throw this together. So I got to say, my graphic is pretty decent for, I'm not a graphic design artist.
That's good.
So of all the graphics I've done, I'm like, oh, this worked out okay. I'm not so sad with it. Let me take Angela out, bring her back in. The Kayte's up at the top. There we go. How are you, Kayte? What's happening?
I'm doing good. We just got back from a long road trip, so we're just getting settled in again.
Where'd you go?
I picked up my husband. He came in from Korea finally for good for now. So
For good or for now?
You drove up to Korea and picked him up?
no, I drove to Chicago from El Paso,
Which is a long ways, long ways.
It was a long 2 days, though. 2 days there and then 2 days back. So, but it was nice because we were family for Thanksgiving. So
my husband served over in Korea too.
Oh,
back in the day.
Yeah, it's been going on a long time.
So that leads me to the next question: is they won't fly him to where he lives?
They would, but he wanted to go to family for Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm just like, what kind of bullshit is that?
We're going to start a petition.
No matter where you live. Good luck.
Yeah, we usually do, but he requested to go here first.
So how was the weather on that drive?
It wasn't bad at all, actually. Either way, it was pretty fine.
You lucked out.
We had like that one crazy windy day, but it's been pretty clear through here.
Yeah, it rained. We were supposed to go to Disneyland on Thanksgiving, and it was 45, and it rained for 14 straight hours.
Ooh,
and so all our friends were like, "You should still go. There'll be no lines." Like, look, if it was 70 and raining, maybe, but 40, like just Stace and I were like, "There's no way." Then we were driving from LA up to San Francisco, and man, majority of the time we were driving, it was just raining. I'm like, I'm tired of weather. Tired of it. All right. So you started eBay way back in the day, 2001. What back then? How'd you end up on eBay in 2001?
So on right before our honeymoon, we met a local lady that was an antique dealer, and she ended up being a very good friend of ours over the years. And she kind of introduced me to vintage and antiques. And then about a year or so after that, she asked me to start selling for her. So I started selling on a commission basis for her. And over the years, it grew to me doing it myself, sourcing myself, and mostly vintage for a long time. And then probably the last maybe 7 or 8 years, I kind of expanded into other things. So it's been a neat journey. I learned a lot from her to begin with. So that was really good.
That's the best education, isn't it?
It is.
The ones who've been in the business. I love that.
Yes. Yeah. Her husband had passed away and she needed someone to do eBay for her. So I took over that role for quite a few years.
That's
nice.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So was your husband, when you guys got together, was he already in the military?
No, he joined really late. He joined when he was 29.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah,
I didn't expect. Okay, that changes the whole story.
Yeah, he joined the reserves, and we were actually at home for the longest time. And then he went active Army in 2017, and that's what got us to Korea.
So wow. You're selling along, life's normal, and you have a child, right?
We did. We have a 10-year-old son right now, and we had been in the same place, the same town forever. And I actually opened a kind of not a retail space, but I had rented space from a local photographer. I rented her basement, and she allowed me to use the photo studio to take all my eBay photos.
Nice.
The perfect arrangement. And we had done that in January of 2017. And then in June, my husband was accepted into the Army as active duty. And that started our journey out of the business space that we had rented already. It was very fast. We have scaling up the business. And then we got orders and we started to have to liquidate.
How long did you have?
Well, he went to school in July, and in November we got orders to Korea. So in August I had moved to Oklahoma, and my assistant that I had employed at the time, she helped me liquidate all the stuff that was in the photography basement over the course of several months. And then when I came back, she bought all the remainder of it.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's still a lot.
So when you say your husband got accepted into the Army, was that something that he was going for, or is that something that just happens when you're in the reserves?
When you're in reserves, you're contractually bound. So he had a 6-year contract, and he had wanted to go active Army for the longest time.
Okay.
But the reserve, even though it's part of the Army, they want to keep their numbers. So they were very hesitant to let him go. So he ended up going on 2 deployments so that he could end up getting released out of his contract to go active duty. And so it's something that he really tried hard to do over the years.
Wow. So what did your husband do before he later in life said, I want to be in the service?
He was a veterinary technician for about 15 years. So
this is definitely not how I saw the story going, Angela. I was thinking too, like, he joined when he was young kind of thing. I'm like, well, this is
I was like, well, she knew what she was getting into. She married him when he was in the Army.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, but he was Army, right?
No, he joined the reserves when he was 29. So we've only been in the Army about 8 years right now.
Okay.
So we had a long relationship. We got married very young, and we had a long relationship before that.
So you got married when you were like 12? Because you don't look like you were that old, honestly.
Well, we were 19 and 20, so we were married 20 years this year.
Oh, wow. Nice.
My folks met when they were 12 and 11. So.
Wow.
So what? So when he got transferred to or sent to Korea, was that just a surprise, or was that something that you knew might happen, or how did that work out?
We had a strong indication it would happen because the job that he picked when he transferred, he used to be doing like transportation logistics in the Army, and when he went active duty, he transferred to air defense. That's Patriot missiles. And we had a strong indication at that time that we would go to Korea because of the type of job he has. So it's a strong indication we will go back as well.
I'm sorry, where'd you go again? Korea? Hey, there we go. I forgot I had fun little things right now.
There it is. Yeah.
Can't see. Okay. So when you go over there, are you living on base?
We had the option to. It's pretty full, and we were at an Air Force base. So it was hard for us to kind of get on base housing, but we ended up living off base in a Korean house. Mm-hmm.
So now my question is, so you liquidated everything and you just closed up shop. Now, did you actually do anything, or you just stopped selling and your ID was just open and there?
When I got to Korea, I initially didn't sell anything. I sourced, I had brought a little bit with me before I had left. I brought a couple suitcases with. And I ended up doing a few Instagram sales when I was there. I was doing one every couple months, I think. I was kind of sourcing on eBay and reselling some of the vintage stuff that I would find. And then as well as I would add in my personal collection because I have a huge vintage personal collection. So it's kind of keeping my name out there slightly. And then I was also, I had found a local fabric supplier in Korea that had a ton of reproduction bark cloth. And I was selling that a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
I was selling that a little bit. You're not really, we have USPS over there on base, and you're not really supposed to sell as a business over there. So I had to really watch that because it's just not.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't really scale. I just was selling a little bit to keep my eBay open. I was actually buying a lot on eBay to keep my feedback going.
That's really smart. So when you're on base, is that if I were to send something to you, would I be sending it to an APO?
Yes.
Kind of thing? Okay. That was one of my questions was, how do you ship out from an APO? Is it the same?
Yeah, it's the same. You have to have a customs form, and it goes to the military mail at first, and then it hits the regular USPS.
Okay.
But the post office on base, even overseas, looks just like the regular USPS here.
Okay.
So what was there? Do you speak Korean at all, by the way?
I didn't make any attempts to learn language. I know basic words, some of the basic words.
Screw your language. I ain't learning it.
Well, a lot of them, they go to school nowadays and learn English as a second language. So it was pretty easy to communicate, and they have a lot of, the Google Translate that we used. And
yeah, it's a little easier nowadays than even like 10 years ago. Like we went to Europe, like
you could flip through a book,
have Google Translate and read the menu. I don't got to be the dumb American tourist going, what's that?
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it was fun.
Are there things in Korea that are Korean that you could have sourced and brought back and people in the States would have wanted?
I did search for those things. I did think about that a lot. They're not a lot. Their big touristy things are like inlaid shell boxes.
Okay.
But I would look on eBay, and there was a lot of them already. There was people in Korea selling them to the States. So
What about the music, Jason? Was there music there she should have sourced?
Maybe.
Oh, pop's now a big thing. So maybe a little bit of music.
Heck yeah.
You know, in the last 2 years, all these Korean boy bands have shown up, but that's in the last 2 years. So prior to that, I don't know if there's much that people would be hunting for. But now, man, these girls are crazy for these bands.
There's also not a lot of thrift stores in Korea. I'm a huge thrifter, and that's the first thing I looked into. But there's not a lot, and the sizing is different. They're a lot tinier. So even if I had wanted to buy a lot of Korean clothing, it would have been kind of difficult to resell over here to the US.
Yeah. I follow another YouTuber who is in Hong Kong, but she did a thing, and it came on this morning, and she was doing a whole fashion thing in Seoul. And it just, I'm kind of watching it and I'm like, okay, so do you think the trends go there first, like the fashion trends and the colors and things?
Mm-hmm. They do.
And then it comes here? Because I was like, I'd have to go back and find something from last year to see if that's the colors. But I was really, it was very interested because they talk about airport fashion in Korea. And I was like, well, I didn't know that was really a thing. But there's when we say it's literally a whole nother world, it's just so completely different.
It is. Yes, it is.
But, and so I was thinking, well, I was like, this chick was talking about, different clothing brands that even she was looking for, but she couldn't find because they were already last season by the time she got there, because they're still into the fast fashion.
Right.
It changes very quickly, and everything is small.
Yes.
They're not really cut for.
Right. It is hard. I can't my side either.
Yeah.
So great photos on your Instagram, Katie. These are amazing.
Amazingly.
Thank you.
Out of this world beautiful Instagram.
Oh,
you've got your look, and if people saw it, they would definitely know. Oh yeah, that's Katie stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, I could probably do a whole nother class on Instagram, but I do take pictures. I make it look very boutiquey and decorated. So. And
mine looks as completely random as a conversation with me is. It might be a lamp today or a cat tomorrow. Who knows what it's but that's
like that.
It's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you ended up back here before your husband. So what happened there where you're like, see ya, I got to go back to the States?
Well, I wanted to get my son into school before school started here. So once we learned where we were moving to, we tried very hard to get orders so that we could fly back early. And that's how I ended up back here early.
How long were you apart?
It was about 4.5 months.
Oh, geez.
That hurt. Oh, that's hard.
It was. And my husband got sick in the middle of it all, and I had to fly back there. So
wow.
It was hard. And I put my store on hold at that time again. I had just started back up, and literally I'd only been here for, I think, in the house for a week, and had to go back.
So is he okay now?
He is. He's doing a lot better.
Good.
Good. Now, do you have an assistant when you're selling now?
I don't. I'm hovering right around 600 items right now, and I'm doing it pretty well on my own. But I feel as I get towards the 1,000, which is where I was right before I had to liquidate, I think I'm going to end up having to get an assistant.
Yeah, I think that I agree. I think that's kind of the benchmark when you get a right there is when, okay, I just had to spend a whole morning shipping, 4 hours of shipping that went, it's hard to get back into the groove to go get the rest of it done.
Well, my rule
to stay on top of the numbers.
Well, right now, my rule of thumb is I'm trying to at least sell 5 to 6 items a day to, one item for every 100. So as I scale into there,
I like that. One item for every 100. I like that. Yeah. Without mine right now, I mean, the travels I've been doing, of course I need her, but now we're shipping 175 tiki mugs. So and all over the world. So we send mugs out to Canada, Australia, Switzerland, and a ton of the US today. But we got with the big shipping table, we got like a whole system down. All right, we get the weight, we get it in the box, boom, measurements. And then because I didn't charge anyone shipping ahead of time, because I felt, all right, I'll just charge based on where they lived, which is a little bit more work for me. But that way, if you happen to live close to me, you're saving money because I'm not going to charge you as much. And so, getting 175 mugs out this week's kind of a lot of work. But without that person helping me.
You're not expecting your mailman to pick those up, are you? Did you take them in?
We've been leaving a few. Stace took some to the to the post office. And then today we had a bunch ready to go and the mail had already been picked up. We happened to open the door of the office and I saw the mailman like 4 houses up. So we just threw all the ones we had ready to go in the wagon and walked up. And I'm like, hey, you want to buy some Girl Scout cookies? And he's like, nope. I'm like, all right, good. You want to take all my packages?
So, Kayte, are you all living on base now?
No, we live outside of base.
Okay, because that was one of my questions was, even if you're on base here selling, does the military still do like inspections when you're living on base? Because I was like, what would the Army do if they came in and saw like all these boxes? They might think you're a terrorist or something. And I'm like, no, she's not a terrorist.
Hello, dark thoughts.
Yeah, I was like, well,
look at that mannequin in the back. Is that a bomb?
Yep. No,
it's her old assistant. Didn't work out.
We don't have to worry about that at all.
What
seem dark?
So your son's 10. Is he help at all in the business?
He actually does. He helps bring packages into the post office. We're big on getting our packages scanned at the counter, just because I have previous problems not having my packages scanned on time. And I go to the post office every single day it's open. So he always brings some packages in and likes to have them scanned. He goes by himself and I just sit in the car. It's kind of nice. So that's the way he helps.
That's awesome.
Now, I don't know when this function's coming from eBay, but if you had heard, this will be very exciting to you, Kayte. You're going to be able to scan your own packages.
Oh, wow.
They told us that eBay opened. They didn't give us a time frame. But for those that have issues, I have no issues. My guy's good. He scan. I can hear him scan when he's picking up. But for those who don't, you'll be able to scan your own packages with the app, and that'll actually start the ball rolling.
Wow, that's really exciting.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with that. Our guy comes here and he actually shows up twice a day this time of year.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's like he swings by, but he's got to drive back to the post office. So he just knows if it's in the front window, he could drive on the street or he could drive to our parking lot, and he just takes that extra little jog and then heads back. So, I mean, it's really nice.
Yeah, I think it depends on your carrier. We had a really good one back where we lived in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And sometimes it could be their equipment. I don't know how I know they beep and they scan, but what if they're not working?
Right.
You got a lot of dark thoughts today, Angela.
I have a lot of thoughts. I'm holding so many thoughts in right now because
if a meteor crushes my business tonight.
Or I'm like, is that a dripping sound? What if the cave?
What'd you say, Angela?
I'm gonna stop nothing.
So one thing I know you want to do, Kayte, is help other military spouses learn how to earn for themselves.
I do. Especially when I moved here, I realized how many people had a rough time getting a job, especially in this area. You'd be surprised. El Paso is bigger than Milwaukee, which is the area I came from before this, other than Korea. And it's really hard to find a job here, especially when you move every 2 to 3 years. It can be difficult to find employment. So I wanted to scale my store to a comfortable level for me, which is I'm hoping around 1,000 and I can get an assistant. Then I'm hoping to mentor some local military wives to teach them how to do this business. Because
that's for me a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's been really rewarding and lucrative. So
that is awesome. I mean, that's really something I hadn't considered, that, the military wives, they really can't hold, unless you're like a nurse or something. It's hard to just pick up and go find another job.
Yes.
And
right.
And
a lot of them are very young, so they don't have job history to begin with.
Yep.
That is awesome. So when you get that off the ground, let us know. We'd love to follow that journey too, because that's obviously the whole point of Thrifty Business and the Thrifty Board, the Secret Beach, is to teach. I love to teach people how to help themselves, and it's especially working with my mom and the older people in the groups. It is so great to see that people at an age, especially the older ones, they're you don't think of them as being able to use computers and smartphones and stuff, and B, they're making their own money. They don't have to worry about sure, if you want to be a greeter at Walmart, that's great, but if you want to be your own boss at an older age, you can be. So a little bit of help and a little bit of knowledge.
Yeah, It's exactly what I love about this business. I like to use my own brain. I set a lot of my own rules, of course, except for the eBay rules that I go by.
My own rules.
Yeah, it feels right for me. It's good.
So we're losing Katie a little bit on my end.
Yeah, a little fuzzy. I'm going to guess it's the El
She's good now.
Paso.
So where do you do your sourcing, Katie? Are you mostly estate sales, or do you have good thrifts around you?
We have some really, really good thrifts here. One in particular is really good. So I'm actually doing better here than I've ever done.
Wow.
Nice.
I know. I don't ever want to leave because there's a really, really good thrift store here that I'm excited about. So.
And first of all, I did see Debbie Weeder's comment, and yes, I am drinking coffee. But since this whole time we've been talking to Katie, the only two things that are really coming out of my mouth, I'm like, Korean barbecue and Texas barbecue. That's all I can think about. And I quit eating meat.
We're right on the Mexico border, so barbecue isn't as big here. Other than the tacos and Mexican food is really big here.
Yeah, we had a Texas style smokehouse restaurant here before we were in the brick and mortar store. So I love barbecue and I love Korean food.
Sometimes the avenues Angela takes me, I'm not expecting. I was not expecting to go down the barbecue route.
I do like.
Here, I did have one more fun graphic for you. There we go. All right, so let's look at your scores. Your scores are amazing. So usually I start with the scores first, but let's go to your duds because let's build up to your awesome scores.
Yes. So it's Patagonia. You think Patagonia is really good, right? Some Patagonia like
what I hear.
Good. It's not good. So I think I paid a couple dollars for it, and I'm really trying to sell it for what they go for. And I should have looked it up, but I know my bra brands generally, so I don't look it up. And I just thought, oh, Patagonia, and I threw it in the cart. So.
Yeah, I had a couple Christmas CDs this past weekend that I didn't pay a lot for, but I'm like, oh yeah, I know that one. It's good. And then as I go to list it, I go, oh, it used to be good.
Yeah. So this is a dud. It's not as vintage as a lot of the good vintage Madame Alexander dolls. I've sold a lot of really good vintage Madame Alexander dolls before. This one, I just looked at it briefly and I thought it was older than it was. So I paid, I think, $7 or $8 for it. And I ended up selling it for $19.74. So it was kind of a dud for me because I had aspirations that it was worth $50, $60, $75.
But yeah.
And I didn't look it up. So this one is a great kit. There was another eBay seller that had it listed. The only other eBay seller had it listed for $125. And I thought that was a little bit lofty. So I paid $10 for mine, and I took the best offer. No, I think it sold on the sale that I had. So it was a pretty good profit overall.
It was. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
Get it? That was a dwarf joke.
See, if you had to say get it, I was about to add to it, but since you're like, get it?
I'm so weird. I always have to say get it because people just think I'm weird. I'm like, I knew that was
dopey. Look, dopey. I got it. All right. There.
Thank you.
See, gotta add to the joke. You have the yellow lamp. You've got the yellow ball. Dang, I should have sold something yellow this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Running on yellow here. So, I mean, anytime you find vintage Fiesta wear, it's usually pretty good. This one, it was exceptional because I think I found it for about $4. So,
you thrifted that?
I did. I thrifted in my favorite thrift store here.
Holy crap, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was in perfect shape almost. So I was super excited about that.
I don't think I've seen that shape.
It was huge. Really, really big mixing bowl. The biggest, I think.
That's amazing. Good job.
Thanks.
Okay, I would look at these little crappy shoes and never think, oh yeah, $135. What?
Yeah, geeks have a cult following. So they sell brand new for $175 for just the base model. And then they go up depending on the finish to, I think, almost $300. So to find them in that shape, I found actually 2 pairs of these, one week apart. and they were all in the same condition, and they both sold for $135 within a day or two.
Well done. I knew about cheeks because of my indie meetup girls.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I am no fashionista. I would have never.
I love them, but I can't put them on my feet because I wear half size, and they don't sell half sizes. So.
Jerks.
What? Complete jerks.
Cynthia says, yes, teaching the military wives resell is a great idea. My daughter's husband is military, and I support thrifting at the thrift store on base. Hey, don't forget, it's just not wives, too. I'm sure there's husbands. So,
yeah.
you know.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Any military spouses, they can get on it. Yep.
And what else did I see? Oh, thanks to Angela's road down the barbecue. Now Angelique's hungry.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. All right. So, yeah. What is this? What is this awesomeness?
Isn't it cool? I found that in the Savers in Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Shut up.
Yes, and they had it marked for $10
because somebody thought it was ugly and they threw it in the donation. That is fantastic.
And there was one on eBay priced for $350. So I undercut it a little bit, but mine's way better because it had the Chloe butterflies on it.
Nice.
I ended up taking a best offer of $150 on it, but it was fine for me for $10. So
that's $150.
Yes.
That's groceries for the week.
I'm shocked you made it to the thrift store, out to the racks, to the shelves, and wasn't broke.
I know there was a couple tiny little broken leaves, but otherwise really, really nice shape. And I've never seen one that looked like that. So
I've never seen one of those, period. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What's so you're trying to get to 1,000. Any big plans for the holidays? Anything exciting happening?
We've actually my husband put drapes up, and we've been doing things to the house lately that I couldn't do by myself. And so that's kind of exciting for us right now. But otherwise, I'm just going to get right back into it. We went thrifting today and yesterday, and we're ready to get going.
So you said there is a chance that you could go back to Korea?
Very high chance, yes.
Very high chance. And so do you have a contingent plan this time to like just put it all in storage or have somebody come in and take it over for you or assign it?
Storage is hard for the military. A lot of times it's not climate controlled. So, and then you have to store it yourself and you don't know where you're moving after Korea. So I would probably liquidate it again, or I would just donate it all. I would do my 50% off sale because you get orders a couple months before you move. I would just do what I did before, which is I put everything like 50% off and just tried to sell and see how much I could get rid of fast. But I kind of, I don't think we're going to go back to Korea right away. So I'm scaling right now with the hopes that we'll be here for at least the next few years. And I'm being careful, though, of what I buy because I need to do mostly clothing stuff that's super easy to move. Bring that into consideration a lot because we're going to end up moving every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, like things like that wreath. I would not want to move that around. That was amazing.
Hard goods sell really well for me. They sell better than clothes. So it's hard not to buy them. But I try to be very selective and buy things that I'm pretty sure will sell fast.
Smart lady.
That is awesome. So the big thing that we haven't said yet, please tell your husband thank you for his service and thank you for your service for being a military wife.
He's watching right now, so he hears you.
What's his name?
Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much for your service and for letting Kayte come out and play with us tonight because this was fun and definitely want to do it again. Yeah, when you get to that point where you're teaching the other spouses, we definitely want to do a follow up and see how that's going because that's a cool thing. And if you need any help with how to structure a class, I'll be happy to help you too.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I've done 1 or 2 in my life, so. And Angela, what's on your agenda for this weekend? Anything exciting?
Oh yes, Sunday is our Indy area meetup second annual Christmas party.
well, why didn't I have a graphic and we could have done a commercial? What happened?
Well, because it's 5 days before the party, and it's.
You never know.
I don't even have the tree up yet, but Mike Freed assured me, he was like, "Don't worry, you still got 3 weeks to Christmas." And I said, the tree is yellow. It's staying up until Easter this year. We, I just a reminder to everybody, take it easy on yourselves. Don't push yourselves too hard. I did the exact same thing that happened last year, happened this year. I was pushing and pushing and pushing, and like the day before Thanksgiving, I crashed. And I was like, I was done. And then we woke up and we took it easy on Thanksgiving. Black Friday, we kind of slid under the weather. And Russ slid under, and we were this past week has been a struggle. So take care of yourselves. Don't push yourselves too hard. Remember, the reason that we work for ourselves is so that we can take the time that we want.
Yeah.
So we have a big, we're going to do Christmas here at the store with all of the kids and all of the significant others. And now they're producing children and cousins and all kinds of things. So we've got a lot coming up in the next few weeks.
Have fun at the meetup this week.
Oh, we will. We'll share some pictures because we're going to do, the Thrifty gift exchange, $5 limit. The more hideous, the better. Yeah. So, and then it's a pass it around game, and you have the ugly sweaters, and Amanda Freed.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna see. She wore some naughty sweaters last year. It's pretty funny.
She wore that one where the boobs out and it's
no.
Rudolph.
I think Mike wore that. But I can't wait because everybody's cooking. I'm excited.
Cool. All right, give us a thumbs up and give Katie a thumb and Andrew a thumbs up down below. If you've not subscribed before, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell, lets you know when we're going live. And as I said, Mom and I will be on a Sunday night at 8 o'clock talking about getting your Christmas items listed, what's hot, what's not. And I'll be talking about what's hot, what's not in CDs, because every year it does change. And so since I'm in the middle of it, in the thick of it, I see what's selling and I see what isn't that was last year. So tune in and I'll give you some more tips and pointers on Christmas stuff. And then with that,
what happened to your old tagline? Remember your old tagline? If you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs up. Thumbs down twice. Tell us that you really hated it.
Thumbs down twice, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Been on a long time. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful
everybody.
evening.
Thank you, Katie.
See you on Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.